Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike Kollin at crackedfemalecode.com. Okay, I'm going to give you a really easy, super simple tip. I don't really like using the word tips or dating tips, but there's a tip that I realized one day when I was at a club in San Francisco called The Matrix, and I noticed it after I did it on accident a couple times, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Now here's what I think it was actually. I probably did it off and on accident, probably for months, maybe even a year or so. I don't know how long. But I never realized what it was I was doing on accident that was helping me to shift from being nervous and scared and anxiety to just having comfortable conversations with people. Alright, so I noticed some nights when I was out, whether it was at a club or maybe a restaurant or who knows, a party, friends place, a gathering, whatever, I noticed some days I just couldn't talk to anybody, or it was really hard to open conversations and talk to people. I just couldn't do it, and I said, fuck it, whatever. Now you gotta understand, this is after a decade of studying NLP, studying dating, relationship coaching, pickup, teaching this. And yet it was weird because I was really good at talking to people, meeting people. I'm essentially generally a naturally social person. I'm a born near the monkey, and people that are born near the monkey, we love to talk. I mean, we love to socialize. That's what we're all about. We're about family, etc., etc. So I noticed one night I talked to someone I wasn't attracted to. I asked a question. I don't even remember. It could have been like, where's the men's bathroom, or something stupid, right? And I noticed after that, for some reason, I could talk to anyone in the room. Now, I noticed it, but I didn't really quite figure out what it was. But then it happened again and again. And then one day I go, wait a minute. I think the secret is if I just talk to anybody, it could be a freaking waitress and asking her for a drink, right? All I need to do is talk to someone for 1 minute, 2 minutes. I just need to say hello, blah, 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 and they respond. You respond back, boom, that's it. It doesn't have to be a full-on conversation. So here's what it was. Essentially, I was breaking the ice for myself in this group of people, in this space, in this room, in this club. So all I noticed, I'm going to give you a little bit of science behind it. All I noticed was all of a sudden, all I had to do when I went to a club or a party or anywhere is I just had to talk to anyone. It could be someone I was totally not attracted to. In fact, usually that's what I would do. I would just walk up to anyone and start talking to them. Generally somebody I wasn't like wanting to approach or whatever, so it could have been anyone. So first it was girls. If I talked to a girl in the room, boom, it just seemed to open up the room, and next thing you know, I could talk to anyone. So that's a tip. I'm going to give you a little bit of science or psychology behind it. So here's what I noticed over the years. This is a separate thing that I noticed. When you first go to a club, you're not going to feel comfortable there. You're going to feel uncomfortable. Or a party. Let's say you go to even to your friend's house. You've been there 50 times and he's a good friend, and the people there you're good friends. But when you first get there, you're kind of nervous, and here's what it is. Your energy or your speed or your tempo, that's a good way of saying your heartbeat, the speed that you talk, your body language, how fast you move, how slow you move, is not in rapport with the people in the room. Now, if you know NLP or the basics of NLP, there's literally a step-by-step process, which I teach in my course, Cracked Female Code, on how to gain rapport with people. It's a very specific step-by-step process, and it simplifies it. It makes it really, really easy. And it makes you very comfortable. So a lot of guys, when they take my course, they think they have anxiety. Some of them even take anxiety pills. Oh yeah, I take anxiety pills or this. I'm like, well, why? Well, I have social anxiety, Or some guys like, well, I'll drink 2 beers first and then that's a good way to go down the road of alcoholism. Sorry, my voice is off a little bit today. Funny thing, I actually just got done running. But I was inspired to get this message out. So when you gain rapport with people, you basically start to go with their rhythm. You speak at their rhythm. You use their predicate system. You match and mirror their body language. There's a bunch of different things you can do to gain rapport with people. Let me take a deep breath and slow down here a little bit. So when you learn this stuff, all of a sudden you gain rapport with people. Now here's the deal. When you go into a club, now you got to understand, I'm going to use the word energy, but it really means the speed. Your heartbeat, your body movement, the speed that you talk, when you go into a room, even your brain activity, the speed, the electrical energy in your brain, odds are you're not at the same, we're going to use the word speed or tempo, as your electricity, your heartbeat, your brain rhythm is not at the same rhythm or speed as everyone in the room. So when you stay in the room for about 5, 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, all of a sudden you start feeling comfortable. So what happened is your unconscious mind began to match and mirror the speed and the tempo and the body language of the room. So all of a sudden now what happens is everyone in the club opens up to you. So now you are part of the group. When you first walk in, you're a stranger because you're not matching them. You don't have unconscious rapport with them, mainly because your energy, your electrical magnetic energy in your brain and your heartbeat, etc., is at a different speed or a different rhythm. What happens when you're in a room around people over a period of time, you unconsciously go into the same rhythm, and then boom, you'll notice 1, 2, 3, 4, ping, ping, ping. All of a sudden, one person, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, they'll turn at you, they'll nod, they'll look, and all. It's like boom, they are unconsciously accepting you into the group because now you're one of us. Now, if you pay attention and start watching the door and then watch people walk in, you'll notice like they're nervous and they're like they're talking too fast, or they're going too slow, or usually they're way too fast, right? And you'll notice how nobody wants to talk with them, because if they gain rapport with you, then they disconnect with everybody in the room and they lose that rapport that they worked on for 15, 20 minutes. Now, I don't mean consciously. Usually it's an unconscious process. So one of my worries about going to clubs and meeting women was, because I didn't do it in my early to mid 20s, I started doing it really when I was about 31 years old, when me and my ex broke up. Now, her and I used to go to clubs, but it was never a good experience for me. I didn't like it because I didn't like the drink. I was an athlete. I was a competitive fighter, competitive boxer, kickboxer, wrestler, etc. So I like to stay very healthy is what I'm saying. So one of my worries was like, okay, so if I'm going to be teaching guys, how to pick up on women, that means we're going to have to go to clubs. How am I going to gain rapport with people if I'm not drinking? And that was and that's why a lot of people drink, is because they don't realize it consciously, because they probably don't even know what rapport skills are, but they're drinking to match people in the room. So matching and mirroring is how you gain rapport. So here's what I noticed. So I would go in the room and I'd match and mirror people, and using the NLP matching and mirroring techniques, and it would work. It would take me about 7 or 10 minutes or more, but it would work eventually. But during that time, I was kind of uncomfortable. I was kind of, I had anxiety. And then one day I said, fuck it, I'm going to have a drink or two. So I ordered the drink, sat down. 7, 8 minutes later, I was still kind of nervous, and I thought, I'm going to get one more drink. And I got the second drink about the 12th minute. Waitress finally came around. Then she finally brought it back about the 15th or 18th minute. And at that point, I already started to feel comfortable with everyone in the room. I thought, that's interesting. So I had my drink, whatever. So I did that a couple more times when I went, maybe 2 or 3 more times. I thought, I really don't want to do that. I thought, you know what? And here's the thing that I noticed. Every time it was around between 15, 18 minutes, maybe 20 minutes that I felt comfortable and I gained rapport with the room. So I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. I wonder if that's just the time limit. So then I went again another night, and I didn't drink anything at all. And I noticed between about the 15th, 18th, or 20th minute, I gained rapport with people and I felt comfortable. I was like, oh, okay, so all I got to do is stick it out for about 15 to 20 minutes and I'm going to gain rapport with people and I won't have to drink. So from that point on, I didn't drink anything at all for years. So what I'm saying is, when you hang around a group of people, eventually your unconscious processes start to kick in and you begin to match the rhythm of the people in the room. And then eventually people just start to talk to you. Now, the other secret, which I already gave you at the beginning of this, the second thing, technically that would be the first one, is I also noticed whenever I talked to a woman in the room, all the other women in the room opened up to me. Now, I could walk up to, and I forgive me, I don't mean any disrespect at all, but I could walk up to a woman that I'm not attracted to at all, maybe someone who's overweight or, whatever, And it didn't matter who I talked to. If I just had a conversation with someone for a couple minutes or more, boom, all of a sudden I could talk to women in the room. Now, I do believe it really made me feel comfortable. It was like once I started talking, because, okay, here's why. Because it's kind of like you're going up, what's the word? It's like a cold, like, you know how you can do a cold call in sales? Well, this is like it warms you up. So instead of just like walking in, you don't talk, you're totally silent, and then boom, you try to talk to someone, you're like, you got to clear your throat, all that stuff. So after you talk to someone, it's like, man, you feel comfortable talking in the room. So those are my 2 tips. Number 1, just go up and talk to someone. Okay, you might have to wait 2 or 3 minutes, but just kind of hang out for a while. And then ask a waitress. And that, again, that was another one. I could literally talk to a waitress for a couple minutes. And once I did that, again, I felt comfortable talking to women. Now, I do believe, number 1, it did make me comfortable because it wasn't like, how to explain this? It's like, because I broke the ice for myself. Now it's kind of like, okay, I'm just talking to people. It's no big deal now. I also believe there's also a psychological effect on the women in the room, and even the other people. Is like, oh, okay, well, he's talking to one of us. He's cool. And all of a sudden people will start opening up. All right, so now let's kind of shift gears a little bit. It's kind of like a little bit of not an announcement. Oh yeah, I will give an announcement since I mentioned it. I am doing, okay, so I have one-on-one coaching opening up in this month, August. So it's the 17th right now. I'm not sure when I'm going to post this. But the last week of August for one-on-one coaching, I'll be available from mornings into evenings, okay? And all of September, I have some openings here and there, but I'm going to do a training. If you want to save a lot of money in the actual complete Cracked Female Code training, get a hold of me now. I'm going to give you a massive discount from $5,999, and I'm going to lower it down quite a bit. I'm not going to announce it over this right now until I make it official. It will be substantial. It will be more than 10%. Okay, so now, this is, I don't know if I should make a separate video. Let me think about this. Hold on. So number 1 is when you actually develop this, if you make a commitment. So number 1, you're going to have to be willing to shift and make an actual change, okay? And add Adam in there where he said, I only had 2 personalities, really angry or really happy. He goes, that was my what do you say, expansive personas. So you're going to have to make a commitment to shifting into this other way of doing it, okay? Otherwise, it's a waste of time. So no, this doesn't mean you have to give up your other strategies or other ways, but it does mean you're going to have to develop this to where you get good at it and you completely step into it. The other one is, if you do, okay, this is the point of saying the first part, if you really do learn how to step into this and commit to it, what you're not going to believe is you're going to find that women get angry because you don't pick up on them, because you don't ask them out. One example, I was at a restaurant. It was like our 3rd or 4th time there, and we got the waitress, the same waitress, I think all 3 or 4 times. And she was super nice to us, really cool. But then all of a sudden, like one day she was pissed, and my goddaughter laughed. I'm like, what's so funny? She goes, well, she's mad because you won't ask her out. And I was like, what? So then you have to develop the ability of how to meet someone and then put the wall up, but in a respectful way, saying, I acknowledge you, yet I'm letting you know that I'm not going there. So it's a really, the most difficult part of all of this is when women start to throw themselves at you and when you don't respond. And this is what my goddaughter said. She goes, well, she's been throwing herself at you and you're not responding the way she wants, so now she's pissed off. So you're going to have to learn this. I'm going to be really honest with you. This is the hardest part of it, because women will be pissed off at you and they will suddenly treat you like shit because of it. So if you have any questions of, oh, does this work? It works so well. You're going to have to learn how to, I don't know what the word is, like what I just said, put up a wall, okay? Don't hurt anyone. Don't make anyone fall in love unless you're genuinely interested in them, because it really does hurt. Okay, that's it for this video. If you have any intentions of taking my course in the next couple months, year, buy my book, Cracked Female Code. It is a requirement to read first before you take the course. So go to crackedfemalecode.com and buy my book, Cracked Female Code. Better yet, buy the Ultimate Package. If you read all of those books, by the way, the book Cracked Female Code is in the Ultimate Package, has all my books. If you read all those books, you will be more than prepared for the course. Your brain will understand where we're going with it. Because otherwise, it can be an overwhelming experience to walk in fresh and new. Now, if you think this is like a pickup artist course, you are completely and totally wrong. And a lot of clients have found that out the hard way. This is a conditioning course. We're going to practice things over and over and over. You're going to learn things that you've never heard in your life. They will seem so bizarre and so weird to the left brain that if you don't read the book, it could actually cause what we call cognitive dissonance. So read that book. It will prepare your mind. The other book you need to read is Get the Girl, Keep the Girl, okay? Or Get the Girl and Keep the Girl. It also helps prepare you to understand some techniques I'm going to teach you, because otherwise it's going to be so new to you, your brain's going to be like, wait, what is this? Alright guys, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video. If you want to help out this channel, again, buy one of my dating relationship books or packages. And there's also a PayPal donation link right there in the description box if you just want to throw a little bit of money at me, alright? Why? Because I'm making these videos and giving you guys a lot of tips. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.